What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Vex, the Lurking Legend, aka Nikipedia, but you can just call me Vex. Welcome and thank you all for tuning in. My internet is not cooperating tonight, so we're just going to do a little bit of a brief recording, a little bit of a recap for last week when my internet was also not cooperating, and I accidentally did a recording then and only captured my audio, so you couldn't hear anything any of my wonderful players were saying the whole time. So we are here tonight just to do a little bit of a chill recap bit, and we're also down a man, so we will be getting back in action next week at the regular scheduled time, hopefully, assuming that my internet cooperates then. But this will just be something to hold you over, you guys. You guys are beautiful. We will return to you guys as soon as possible. This is a recap of a session of our online role-playing adventure set in the world of One Piece. Before we start, I just want to say, if you're interested in checking out the World Economic newspaper clippings and the cover stories written by yours truly, you can find things like that and the recent bounty posters over at the Scarlet Pirates Twitter page. Link in the description. Stick around till the end of each session to catch me reading the previous session's cover stories. But if you want to see the one that just dropped for next week's session, you can stay up to date on the, twitter.com/pirates_scarlet. If you're enjoying the series so far, please do us all a huge favor: like, share, and subscribe so you can catch us each week as we attempt to go live. That really helps everybody who tries to make these streams possible. Shout out to the last arc. Please support the homies for setting all of this up for us. If you're wanting to DM or be a player in a One Piece D&D campaign of your very own, check out the last arc's Discord server and we can get you set up. They have Group 1 returning shortly to the last arc live channel. Date to be determined. We are Group 2 solos every Tuesday at 8 p.m. We try to 8 p.m. EST here on my channel. Group 3 is typically on Saturdays on Ragnelius's channel. Group 6 just started streaming every other Sunday on Whoman's channel, and Group 8 is live every Thursday around 8 p.m. On SSJ8 Cody's channel on his Twitch. All links to all these wonderful things are in the description, so you can stay up to date with all of the last arc D&D, One Piece D&D that is going on each of the weeks. Now that's more than enough for me. Let's hear it from the lovely players, which I had no audio from last week. I'm so sorry, you guys, but what's going on? Let's start off with the W Helmsman, Mikey D, aka Torimori. How you doing today, brother?
What up? I'm doing good. Great to be here again. Hope everybody here in the party's doing good and everybody watching at home. Excited for a little, our usual Tuesday routine.
Excellent. And then next up we got the Bang D Boom, piloted by Party Pete. Party Pete, how you doing today, brother?
Hello. I'm doing good. Living the dream as always. Glad to be back for another session.
Living the dream as always. Love to hear it. Let's turn the music down a little bit. All right, and then we have the resident gate guardian, the Ragnelius, brother Ragnar, aka Lord Vegeta, playing Lord Azrael tonight. How you doing? Happy to have you with us. How you doing tonight, bro?
I'm broke and I need more money. Pirates have millions. We're broke.
And then we are unfortunately down a man. We don't have our brother Dill with us, but that brings us next to the future queen of the pirates herself, pirate captain Scarlet of the Scarlet Pirates, piloted by Balincc. What's good?
Get on to getting into. Hope everybody having a good day today.
Excellent. So, guys, sorry, I done goofed, and that last session that we did a recording for, because like tonight my internet was fucking up. It did not contain any of your beautiful voices. So, what I thought we could do tonight, because again my internet was messing up and we're missing Dill, is that we can just kind of do a bit of a recap and tell the folks what unfortunately they missed. My bad. So yeah, I mean, do you guys want to just like talk about a little bit about like what all happened last session? Who wants to start us off?
I mean, there was some beautiful negotiation. Yeah, there was
he did most of the
negotiation on multiple parties' accounts. Agreements were made with the unfortunate passing of the elder, what seemed to be kind of the tribe elder. We were able to comfort them in their sorrows and help them see reason. Maybe see a slight change in lifestyle, but calm down the angry guy that took a good chunk out of Dill and headed back to the bar to have a drink. Plans to possibly traverse the desert, but gotta make the proper preparations at Port Scarlet.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said that old lady, you mean Baba Mira, who had deceased after you guys found her in her tent, and it seemed like the gold sand had come to life and strangled this lady. The sand that was in the little sandbox that was lifted up on her table, in a little bit of like a mini diorama of the three deserts. The sand that she was kind of going berserk over because it's apparently cursed or special or something. What was that, Ragnar?
Oh, I was just gonna add on to what you guys were talking about. Like, originally we were gonna run away, right? We were gonna go into the desert or back to the dock. I don't really remember what the plan was, but all we know is that when we got back to it, I returned some stuff that definitely was not taken by me. There's no witnesses, so it didn't happen. We also had a secondary plan, so if negotiations fell through, we would just blow the entire camp up into a giant ball of flames and pretend like it never happened. Literally, yes, we were gonna go kaboom, 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 kaboom. Like, not even the exaggeration. There was multiple piles of gunpowder layout throughout the village. So even if one thing went wrong, there was a signal plan made with Dill. I am not aware of this plan. I just saw Dill making a trail of gunpowder, and I decided to just throw some barrels on top of the line he was making. Because why not? I like bombs too. Let's go.
What a homie.
So, unfortunately, right, negotiations did go well, so nobody went kaboom, I know, lame. I know, Chad, lame. But anyway, afterwards, there was an incident where we, like what the DM was saying, we found out that the sand was actually a curse, right? I did an alchemy test on it, and there was no property known to me that matches with what this material is made from. Strangely enough, even gold. I know, insane. It's gold and sand. You'd think it either be sand or gold, or maybe both, but it was none of those or anything else. So officially I put it down as actually a curse, and I started to preach to the people to change from their ways. These heathens should bathe in the glory of Davy Loans. But of course no one listened to me. They just called me a crazy madman. But they don't know. The days are coming when they shall bend the knee to Davy Loans. You'll see. We go back to the port and we head over to the bar, which is where the captain decides that he wants to have a discussion with the bounty hunters that tried to attack us the previous day before.
Zara and Sonja.
and he tries to recruit them, and he does recruit Sonja. Sonja agrees to join, and he says not a big deal to join us. But Zara, on the other hand, wants the captain to prove her worth, and I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty fair. That's how I joined. It's a reasonable thing to say. Even if you're a loser, you still have your pride to uphold, right? So I respect it. And I will say, while all this was happening, the most groundbreaking thing, in my opinion, if I do say so myself, that happened in that episode was me officially creating the team for the Djinn project. And this team consists of Softy Boy, Harry. You're a wizard, Harry. Myself, of course. And let me just check my notes real quick.
Samia.
Wait. Samia, there it is.
Yeah, you got it. You didn't even need me.
I have her. No,
Yeah.
I have her name in the Djinn project notes. I just had to look for it. All right. So, I had to get her because she is a herbal. She's a specialist in desert herbal medicine. So I thought, instead of me trying to outsourcing stuff from, I don't know, different ports or different markets, she would be the perfect person to go to for the effects and drugs I need for these experiments. And I've already collected 2 other people that I probably will be running these experiments on. So Harry has volunteered to be the Model 1 of this line of Djinn projects. So he would be like the Aether in Dragon Ball, or the Iron Man Mark 1, or anything else. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to that. That's everything I got.
No, that was pretty all-encompassing. I'm taking everyone out through the bar to see all of the individuals present. There was also a little bit of an effort put forth by Dalt Wisney, the camel jockey, who is passionate about crossing the desert and the mountains with you all.
And,
She wants to see Manhattan.
we're happy to bring her along. We may just have to incorporate the camels in a different way than she initially anticipated, but I'm working on that.
So I've got like the full bar scene here now. All right. And yeah, there was just a giant C that got carved into the bar floor here during the fight between specifically the captain and Zara, but the rest of the crew and Sonja were there as well. And yes, Balincc, you want to tell us what Scarlet talked about with the 2 bounty hunters?
All right, Scarlet, after being in the sand dealing with the nomads for a little time that she did, she thought it would be a good idea to click back with the bounty hunters and recruit them to her crew. Now, Sonja was like, okay, it's cool, there should be no problem with that, but here we come with the dreadful Zara, telling me I gotta prove myself, telling me I gotta make it feel like I'm worth it. Now, I'm bringing her with me on this, little mission to the mountains. And if I could prove myself, I got a new shipment. But I will prove myself, because I'm Scarlet.
Let's go. Just to be sure, everybody on your Roll20s, you can see the name tags for the ones that you've got the names of, right? Like, so Sonja and Zara and like Azrael at the little table over here, and like Samia over by Ragnar's token. Can you guys see all of that?
No.
I only have my own.
Oh, let me check real quick.
As far as the name tags go, because I can fix all that. I just did not know if y'all could see that already or not.
No, I cannot see it.
Let's go. All right. Oh well. They will be visible on stream. or recording. So that's all that really matters there. I guess for now, I'll fix it before next week. But Mikey, you want to talk to us a little bit about the ravings of Dalt Wisney last session?
Yeah, man, she's a girl with the city in her eyes. The idea of something across the mountains right now is really enticing, and it seems like we'll be bringing a lot of folks somewhere south past the mountains. Davos kind of has a feeling his home is going to be precisely where they end up, just based off of the currents and everything. But yeah, he can tell that this means a lot to her. He kind of misunderstood and thought she wanted to be a pirate, but cleared up now, obviously ready to just help these nomads out, because he's taking a real rather big liking to them. He loves what they're about, especially in contrast to what he remembers from south of the mountains.
Excellent. So yeah, we had like Ragnar had put, is that it started off with they were originally planning on like straight running away, but ended up going into negotiations. And just in case negotiations didn't go well, I remember Brother Dill had placed just a ton of gunpowder all across the whole tented area. Just to give a recap of what Brother Dill was getting into last session. He was awaiting signals. You guys remember what all your signals were? Because the crew had a cool moment where they were all like had individual like little signals that they could give Brother Dill if things went south.
The signal that Scarlet gave Dill was if Scarlet was to run her hands through her hair.
I don't know what the signal was, but I was trying to gaslight Dill into just blowing everybody up anyway, so I kept on telling him that he got the signal, but he didn't really get the signal.
But I think he thought
Oh, it was you, Azrael!
I think he thought when I started stretching the the pistol leg, that was the sign to start lighting it, but fortunately that did not happen.
And then did Davos have a signal, or he wasn't gonna take? He was just somewhere else, right? Like I don't remember.
I think I was somewhere else. I don't have a signal.
So yeah, negotiations did actually go fairly reasonable, and you guys were able to somehow get the nomad folk, after losing their leader, Baba Mira, unfortunately, and having this mysterious curse be like unfolding in front of you all. You guys had convinced the nomads that were still there to enter into the bar and reside here at town for now. Since they were without leadership, and as you said, that it would be able to benefit them, and they'd be able to live an easy life and things like that. Because you kind of found that some of them maybe weren't super happy with Baba Mira or the life, the nomadic lifestyle that they were living and whatnot. You guys also talked to Azra. That was another thing that I know. I believe was that Ragnar who talked to Azra?
What did I talk to Azra
Or no,
about?
it was Pete, right? Pete talked to Azra?
Yeah, Pete did talk to Azra. And for confirmation, guys, Azra is the blacksmith of the sand nomads that is a really good glass worker and a really good carpenter. Or I would say a woodsmith. I think a woodsmith fits him very well. So a glass-working woodsmith, he's very good at those two things. He's not the same as Azrael, which is my character, the fishman. Two different people.
So, yeah, this is Azra. He's just this like absolutely built, ripped, jacked dude.
Hey, he's a good guy once you get to know him, you know? Just don't let him pat you on the back too
Yeah,
much.
he is a good guy. I felt kind of bad about robbing him, but keep in
Right.
mind, chat, that didn't happen because there's no witnesses.
So, yeah, you were talking to Pete. Pete's character, Bangdy Boom, was talking to Azra, and they were able to return the goods that were never missing in the first place because Lord Azrael never stole them, right?
Yeah, like, you know, I helped him find the items, and you know, we had a good conversation. You know, he's got some crafting methods and usage of materials that I'm interested in, and you know, I've got some things I could help him out with to make his life a little bit easier. So, you know, there's a strong, you know, business relationship blooming. Like I said, as long as he keeps a relatively fair distance.
And then Samia, Ragnar, Lord Azrael had talked to her a little bit about this project, and you'd also tried to get her into the weapons shed or your laboratory, right? As I don't know,
right.
what do you refer to it as? You say it's your workshop or something, or what do you say?
See, if I could refer to it by a name, right, that building in itself. Oh, this is hard.
Like and subscribe.
I would call it. I would call it one or two things. So I'm gonna ask what you guys think I should call it. Should I call it Valhalla, or should I call it Jotunheim?
Jotunheim.
Jotunheim?
Isn't that like the land of the giants? Like, there's no giants there.
Very kind or forgiving place.
What about Niflheim?
Jotunheim is easier to say.
Jotunheim is better, right? All right. Yeah, I would call it Jotunheim.
Okay. Well, you talked to Samia about your experiments there with bonsai, right? Your hyena zoan.
Yes, I've been explaining to them my project in finding a way to tamper with a person's body with an interesting idea for results. I'm trying to extract the positive sides of another human and see if I can implant it into another.
This is the doctor lady, so that you quit mixing them up. I'll give you the close up on her. And then you've also been talking with Softy Boy, right?
Softy Boy is used to me doing this. He actually helps me sometimes with these experiments, so he's already quite accustomed to these things. He's been with the crew for the longest time. He's one of the very few humans I have some respect for. I started off calling him Slave D Boy. For anybody who hasn't seen like the original episodes, he was originally Slave D Boy and then he changed to Soft D Boy. So that's the level of respect I have for this man. And then there's Harry.
Yeah, and then let me show Harry as well. Then there's Harry, who's this lovable guy who y'all didn't get to know for a number of episodes.
Yeah.
So it's good that you brought the original episodes. If you guys wanted to talk a little bit about those as well, like Softy Boy and Harry's intros and things like that. Since we've just got like a chill like SBS kind of like night and stuff like that. But what were you saying before we get into that?
I was just saying Harry is no slouch. He has a lot of potential. Like, even though Harry might be an NPC, I think he has the potential to be the strongest man in the world, Chai. You heard it from here first. Like, Harry is him. You're a wizard, Harry. Harry's
Oh
him.
my goodness.
There's something super fishy and interesting about him. Maybe not fishy, but curious. Certainly kind of curious.
Okay, so if you had to theory cook on him, torimori, who you guys could all find in the theory channel of the Last Ark server, cooking like all the time, almost every day of the week. But if you had to theory cook, like real quick, like craft something up, like what do you think? What do you think's going on?
Well, let's look at his first name or his full name, Harry D. Rouge. I mean, obviously, I think we all know where our mind runs to there. The red hair is pretty crazy.
It is.
Because I know we've had a red-haired fella in the cover stories, and now we get he was a part of the Red Hair Pirates. I'm like, what is going on? Is this obviously tied to Shanks?
Well, chat, just to put things into perspective, chat, like the Shanks is, I think, 14 or 15 years old in this timeline, because it's 24 years back. This is right after the execution of the Gold Roger. So the red-haired pirates likely might not even be formed yet, but this guy says otherwise.
I mean, he's sort of... this might be looking a little too much, but he looks a little like Rockstar. Like maybe a little bit.
He does.
They got that distinctive hair for sure. But I mean,
do you remember where you guys? Do you remember where you guys found him?
Well, he was in that Davy back fight with
Yeah, interesting about that Davy back fight. Interesting. This is called those old episodes, episode 0, episode 0.123. But the interesting about that Davy back fight, chat, is that everybody from the Davy back fight that we collected was either a former captain or vice captain, one of the two. Right, at some point or period in time, they were a former captain or vice captain. So even though Harry is a member of our crew, I had to let him know, don't be demoralized because you were basically conquered by Hard D Boy, which is, by the way, Hard D Boy is Soft D Boy's father. We kind of separated father and son with that one.
That was hilarious because you guys were like going up into this 3-coin fight, this Davy bag fight, wanting to like go for like like some cutthroat strategies, and as soon as you guys took a W, you took the vice captain without even knowing the relationship between the two, and then he goes and looks, and he like makes eye contact with Hardy Boy, and he just goes, "Sorry, Dad."
Goodbye,
and,
father.
I heard people's like jaws drop like over the internet. Like it was like, what a twist! Like,
we're his real daddy.
But I respect it. He did not try to change the rules. He didn't try to fight against it. He accepted the outcome of their loss, and I liked it. I respected it.
He's also
Harry
a medic.
Was a former captain.
Yeah, Softy Boy is also a medic, just like Azrael. So I thought you guys bonded like that as well. And then Harry, you did deduce correctly from the breadcrumbs. Good job, Ragnar. But yes, he is a former captain, which Davos has also kind of gotten to know a little bit more about his backstory through them palling around and whatnot, and just being just bros in general,
Yeah, it hit him hard. It hit Davos hard when Scrub Daddy died, and Harry said he was the only guy who bothered to ask my name. I said back then, I'll learn your name after we're done here. And then you ended it on that cliffhanger that one session, and I was like, fuck.
Yes.
So we went like, I think like, man, it was like 7 or 8 sessions deep. Like I think without you guys really getting to know this guy's name. Granted, 5 of them were all in combat. It was just this ridiculously long boss fight that these guys ended up fighting a Marine captain. really long story, but we can get into that as well. But it was hilarious that nobody at all had asked this guy's name the entire time. They knew Softy Boy's name, and then we knew Scrub Daddy, and we knew another NPC who is no longer with us. They set sail on their own little journey, but it was just hilarious to me that nobody knew Harry's name.
I will say this: as soon as we found out, because actually we gave it to him before we found out his name. I gave him an armor set and a hammer, and then we found out his name. And I was like, bro, you were made for greatness. And it's like he didn't even realize that he was greatness. I was like, how do you not know your own potential? You're like Gohan right now.
I want you guys to know I would have let it go all the way. Like if we went like 100 sessions, which we will, if you know, if nothing, if you know, if you guys are all down, I'm totally down. We totally will if you guys are about it. But if we went 100 sessions deep and nobody asked this man's name, I would have continued to keep making that thing like build up, you know, until one day.
That's what I love. I love the slow burn.
But yeah, so it started off with a few of you guys you know, licking your wounds from your backstories, or you know, like patting the dust off and whatnot, and you somehow you guys had all ended up on a place called Calvaria, and here some of you were on mostly on the same ship and had gotten lured into a cove by some music, a little bit of a familiar tune that all pirates know was playing in the distance, and then like a massive ship and a whole bunch of dinghies like started to circle around you guys, and you guys got challenged to the Davy back fight by the captain collector himself, Hardy Boy, and then you guys succeeded there, got yourself some crewmates, and that's how we ended up getting to Scarlet. And Scarlet had a sick ass fucking like a music off with the captain there, who had a metal arm, and he like pulled his arm off and turned it into a saxophone. It's pretty badass. But Scarlet cooked that dude. And then you guys made out like bandits. Lord Azrael stole cursed money and you know, from Davy loans. And then,
it's not cursed if you serve him. It's blessed money.
And he made a lot of fish friends, little fish buddies. And he has also changed ecosystems now. He has taken predatory fish from one island biome and had them travel with them in the ship as they got lost for a little bit, and then eventually found their way to the very northernmost port on Live Neal, known as Port Delphina, or it was Port Delphina until they got there. But he just brought like predatory fish from one island territory to another, so no big deal. That might not have any repercussions, but and they've been kind of tearing things apart since like basically they first got to Port Delphina. It's been pretty wild ever since then. And Davos is actually from Live Neal. This is the island he grew up on, which we established a little bit more in those previous sessions. But he's from the south half, from below the mountains, and he's never really messed around with the northern half, which is mostly all entirely desert. So this is all still foreign to him, but maybe a little bit less so than to the rest of the crew.
Yeah, I mean, I knew a little bit about some of the settlements up here, namely Port Delphina. Did not know about the nomads, but that's almost kind of why I've taken a liking to them as much as I have, is that I really admire their lifestyle. And knew a little about the creatures, like the sand snakes, but like I guess, let me just say that if Davos were to see one, he probably wouldn't be expecting what he'd have to see, because I'm not sure what to expect myself.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, the suspense, but yeah, you from what you would have known from down south on Livneal, where there's like from what you might have learned at Livneal University, or I don't know, shout out to Livneal U, but
I'm too poor for that shit. I
I don't even know if you went to university, but there is a university there. The library is open.
First grade.
Yeah, he said nah. But yeah, as you might have like checked out, at some of the many libraries around Port Vesta Blue, where you grew up, the north half is a bit of a lawless zone. It's kind of like the Wild West because it's like desert up here, and it's just a bunch of bounty hunters. So a bunch of like duels at high noon type shit, and pirates have been on the rise ever since the recent execution of the pirate king Gold Roger. So this has been kind of an all-time high for pirates and bounty hunters up here, and the Navy, who doesn't normally make an appearance, decided to make an appearance right about the same exact time that you guys pulled in, and boy was that a mess. I think they came in with the intention to keep a low profile. I think. But the newly mostly formed Scarlet Pirates, because I believe they had not met Dill yet, and Lord Azrael was sleeping in the dinghy. He wasn't really fully on board yet, you know what I mean? For the most part, the newly formed Scarlet Pirates hit Port Delfina, and chaos ensued. Now you guys made some friends with the market guy, with the plug. His name's Phil. We should call him the plug. And bought out a whole bunch of some seafood and some drugs and some other supplies like that. What else did you guys do before war broke out?
I think you mentioned the plug already. I met Phil the plug, and we set up an auction to happen. Or did that not happen yet?
No, I don't think that was pre-Shivers. We're talking about pre-Shivers still.
Pre-Shivers.
It was all very quick once y'all got here, right? But you guys talked to Phil. You guys met Dill, no relation. You guys went to try to grab a drink at the bar, and that's when it all kind of fucked up. But was there anything else that happened before? Yeah, you guys learned of the drugs, which now Scarlet is very familiar with. The cactus juice, at the very least.
I thought you meant the cactus powder.
No, the cactus powder, y'all still don't know what that's all about. That's on a whole nother level, potentially, because you have that still tucked away, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so you're saving that for a rainy day, but you guys are familiar with the effects of cactus juice, if you don't make the Constitution save, that is. But yeah, you've learned that there's also a couple other things about the desert that can fuck you up. But mostly the sun, like heat stroke's a bitch, and it's been ridiculously hot ever since you guys got here. Since half the island is kind of talked about, people say that there's like a cursed drought, and a little bit of like some lore that Davos might have heard, that he might have just told you guys in passing, as well as that this is like it's been supposedly it's been like 400 years since it's like heavily rained here. Like there's been like clouds spotted and like light tiny precipitation, but it's not even uncommon that it's so hot that before it even before water droplets will even like hit the ground, they'll just already be evaporated. Like it doesn't actually rain here, and it hasn't for so long, for like at least a couple hundred years.
So you're saying this used to be a fully full grassland, and then all of a sudden rain stopped? Wait, rain stopped?
Hey, I feel like there was something that can move the rain, right?
Well, you guys were talking to the nomads a little bit.
No, we're talking about backstory. We're talking about the past, not the future. Let's focus on the past.
Yeah. You guys had talked to the nomads a little bit recently and found out a little bit more about maybe some alleged curses, but This is just like from the storybooks, you know, like things that Davos might have heard, you know, like in his adolescence when he was growing up at Verity's orphanage in Port Vesta Blue over on the south side.
I just want to say, when this was happening, we did originally stop at the dock to just restock on food, water, alcohol, just the essentials to survive, and then we just go to the next island. But a lot of stuff happened when we got here. We mentioned Phil the Plug, but that was the main thing because Phil the Plug, he wasn't the plug originally. He was a merchant we would buy food from. But during the time, like after we finished buying the food, between the time that we were like loading stuff to the ship, when NoChill Dill, Scarlet, and who else was there? Oh,
Like
yes.
Softy Boy.
And no, it was our former shipwright. I think his character name was Tachi as well, right?
Yeah.
Tachi at the time. He refused to pay for his goddamn drink. He refused to pay for it. So the bartender was like, "Do you know who I am? In this town, everyone loves me." And we were like, "Yeah, old man." Well, not we. They did that, right? And they basically drank some more, and then they were like, "Let's rob the rest." And they were like, they took a barrel, and they kind of left or something like that. And while they were walking away, the guy like summoned all his usual, like his everyday drinkers, and it just so happens that one of his everyday drinkers was a Marine captain. A captain. And he was just like, "No one messes with my bartender," and just says, "Everyone in the town, get them. I'll give you $30 million if you catch them," like something like that. Right? And then every freaking I just want to point out, this village is a bounty hunter like rendezvous point. Bounty hunters come here for drink, for food, to restock, whatever it is. Maybe collect a bounty poster. Anything. I don't really know exactly what they come here for, but there's a bunch of stuff they come here for. And during the time that the Captain Shivers put out the bounties on her head, which is like 30 mil, for the entire crew heads and the destruction of our ship, they did successfully destroy our ship, by the way. They sunk it. They basically an army of bounty hunters attacked us. Matter of fact, not even just bounty hunters, regular civilians attacked us. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot you have a whole nother test subject now as well. Yikes. Yeah, you have the two, right? You got the old dude, right? I forgot what I even named him.
So I have Hyena Man, don't know his name, and I
Bonsai.
have one of the two people that Bang D Boom came with.
Yeah, the old guy. The Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, you have two hostages. I'm sorry, just giving like a little bit of a tour of the town here. Yeah, so I think it was a total of 6 ships that were sunk into the Coldwater Cove.
Oh yeah, there was this sniper. There was a sniper that was shooting the ships down from like 1,000,000 feet away. Like this sniper was on a cliff, 500 feet away, shooting through ships to sink ships.
And I fully expected he was the captain. He was the boss, but he wasn't even anybody.
He was a grunt.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Pretty wild. So yeah, that's all of this map here where we spent so much time on as the Scarlet Pirates, and then you guys ended up taking out half the town worth of bounty hunters and the full squadron of Marines that showed up. I think one was like yeah, her name was like Leia. because she was able to Geppo, like, so I made that like stupid pun. And then there was the sniper guy, and then there was a chick who had like explosive rounds who was also just like doing a number on, and then Scarlet like tore up that chick. Then there was some bounty hunters and a drunk dude, and that drunk dude is still around. He's untouched. Literally fucking untouched. Like, that dude is a fucking menace, but he's not on anyone's side. He's literally just drunk. He just a drunk dude on a random battlefield. He has no dog in this race, but like, he's just having a time, man. But after cleaning up all of that and leveling up, you guys only had one other, foe left in the area, and there was only one other ship on this whole half of the island, and that would have been.
Can I just say this? Davos decided, because I'm just gonna paint a picture for you guys. We were sneaking. Some of us, a lot of them were running towards the final boss, which would have been whoever was shooting that gun. That's what we thought. We thought anybody who was shooting that gun was probably the captain. So we were technically running towards it, trying to dodge bullets. Some of us got hit, some of us didn't. Me and Davos were sneaking. We were stealth mode. I was in the water. Davos was on the boardwalk, right? Hiding behind the ships. He decides, I'm like, I'm going to go under the ship. Davos is like, I'm going to go through the ship. Little
Yeah, he did
Davos
do that.
know. Little did Davos know, he walks into the boss room. Nobody's there to help him.
Yeah, I was gonna go commandeer a cannon and shoot the sniper off of the cliff.
Well, no, and then while that happened, like, Lord Azrael like swam under the ship and went past because he saw his brother in arms and decided to, like, this was when you guys went over and did a combo move. If you want to unpack that real quick, Ragnar, like, because Dill went and was like double timing it, triple timing it even, and ran straight up the cliff to hit up the sniper. He went to solo the sniper. Oh, I'm sorry, he wasn't solo. He had Ragnar in.
Yes. While Dill was drawing the attention, I decided that I would climb the sheer cliff. Keep in mind, this cliff was a lot harder to climb than you probably guys would think. You probably think, oh, with 4 arms, of course he climbed the cliff. No.
It was like 100. It was like 120 feet.
I fumble. Matter of fact, I would imagine myself getting to almost the top of the cliff. I mess up and slide all the way back down. That's what happened.
Oh, yeah, it's like the Big Mom Pirates coming into Wano.
Yes.
You just get punked like twice after. No, but
until at one point I finally had a chance to make it up. And of course, the DM thought I was gonna go up there and help my brother clobber this man, but no. I had to remind my DM of the thing I love doing the most, because before this matchup happened, at the port when we were fighting the civilians and the Marines and the bounty hunters, I would have a thing where I would pull my opponents into the depths of the ocean with me, right?
Feed his friends.
So I was like. To feed my friends, like Dill said, which is my babies, my little fishies. So I wanted to try something far more drastic. I wanted to grab this man by the leg and pull him down to the underworld, where I made it very clear. If I'm not mistaken, we named it a style, but I'm not gonna say the style. But the move was called Kawabunga, right?
Like Kawamatsu, like Kawa, Kawa. Yeah, dude, bro, it's fire. It's absolutely fire.
Yeah, it was very much so fire. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was lit. Oh, Dill, after I did pull him down, Dill then proceeded to tell Ragnar. Then keep in mind, Ragnar then doesn't really like people besides me, and I kind of think Ragnar then is rubbing off to Scarlet, which I don't like. I don't like it at all. I don't like it.
Oh my god.
But I'm gonna let it slide. You know what I'm saying? Ragnar then chooses to not tell me what Dill said, which is Dill. This is what Dill said to Ragnar. Then tell Azrael to catch me. He throws Ragnar then down. I have Ragnar then. Ragnar then tells me nothing, and then Dill jumps. I'm gonna make this very clear. Dill is a devil fruit user. This man cannot swim.
That's
I have
very true.
no idea he's jumping. So this man goes poof into the water and starts sinking. If it wasn't for the fact that my fishies were already given the command to save him if he does fall, he would have drowned. So yeah, that was a very fun moment right there.
Yeah, that was sick. And then while that was going down, I know Captain Scarlet was climbing up onto the deck of the ship, and then Davos was climbing through a porthole on the side of the ship.
Yes, he was.
That was insane. And then you guys proceeded to fight with Captain Shivers. Balincc, would you tell me how Captain Scarlet liked fighting Captain Shivers, captain to captain? You know, like how that went for you. I think he's muted. Yeah, Balincc, you're muted. But Davos, you were the first one to see him, so why don't you tell us how you like that little intro bit, I guess.
Oh, shit. I was not expecting that at all, because I thought the sniper was the captain. So I'm expecting, in and out, I'll run to the cannon, fire off a few rounds, blow the cliff apart, and we'll go from there. And then this dude's like, hey man, you trying to have some tea? And from there it just kind of fell apart a little bit. We put it back together, but I was just glad we all converged on the same spot, because I was worried for a second, like, damn, is this just going to be me versus him for now? But we pulled it off somehow.
Yeah, he was a very formal individual who, I believe, he immediately as you walked in, you heard welcome. Like, what a guy.
Yeah, I like tearing up his doily. That was nice.
But yeah, after you guys spent some time messing with the captain, or you were solo, and then I think, can I remember the order of which everybody entered into the room? I know it was you, and then I think Dill, and then I think Captain Scarlet, and then I think Azrael was like second to last. I think, I don't remember, but yeah,
Something like that.
he was a devil fruit user who had the ability to warp things within the cabin of the ship, almost as if it were like his like domain. And there was just like a bunch of like shenanigans that were going down. So you guys were getting like there's like a formal like porcelain tea set and whatnot. And some of you guys, like I think Davos, you got like tea spilled all over you.
Yeah, it was scalding hot. He did a number on me with that tea.
And then there were also like suits of armor that he was able to animate, and they look like kind of like zombie-like, but when you guys fought them and whatnot, they were empty completely. So he animated the suits of armor. He also animated his own shield and sword combo, so they were dancing around while his hands were free, to keep whipping around and like this like maestro of mayhem. Lots of goofy stuff. He even had the carpet from underneath you guys like come alive, and I think that wrapped up Dill like a cocoon until you guys like helped him get out of it, and then he like wore it like a cape. It was it was fucking wild. And then it was really funny too when Ragnar comes in and starts monologuing. He's just like, "Hello," and and then Dill's devil fruit was active, and he has the Nagi no Mi, the calm fruit. So no one could hear anything that Ragnar was saying,
which is horrible because I was playing that character perfectly right there.
And then the fight raged on, and you guys started to get grappled by the armor and tear holes into the floorboards and things like that. And the armor ended up like equipping itself to you guys and like moving your body. And some of you guys were flossing, and some of you guys were like crumpled up into a pretzel ball. And it was just this like terrible amount of I'm sure pain and discomfort and humiliation that was all occurring in the middle of this like life or death situation where a few people were like almost down, or were like some of you guys burned your human determinations already, and it was just like it was getting pretty grim. And then there was this badass fucking moment with Lord Azrael, when you took 2 of your experimental medicine uses, which kind of drove you over the edge, right?
Yes, I went into a berserk form that was not something I expected. It was a monstrosity, to say the least. I did not know friend from foe, but to be safe, what I did was throw myself into like the bottom of the ship so that I wouldn't attack allies unknowingly. And it did help. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that was he had put up like basically like a little bit of like a timeout zone where nobody could really get to him. He was like he was pulling out all the stops, and this was like the last his final form, in boss fight terms. But you guys had kind of ran out of ideas while you were just like raging below deck in the gunnery. You weren't even in the captain's quarters with the rest of them. You like ripped through a hole in the floorboards and were on the bottom, like a lower level of the ship in itself. And that's how you got around his guard. Then his toupee fell off, and you guys fed him to a barrel full of fish after immobilizing him, because obviously when he's in water, he's a devil fruit user. And stole his boat and had a good night's sleep for the first time. And so this all happened literally the same freaking afternoon. You guys showed up in Port Delfina, but this was like 5.5 sessions or some shit like that. Like in real life time, and we missed a few weeks because of some scheduling complication issues and things like that. And so it was basically like almost like 2.5 months, like real life time, all in the same combat in one initiative. And every week when we came back, if it wasn't a week where we were like on break because of scheduling issues, it was like we were just like, all right, we're still in initiative, let's take it from the top. It was a ridiculously long series of encounters that all unfolded into Scarlet Pirates' triumph over Port Delfina and all of Captain Shivers' forces, and retrieving the last boat this side of the Walking Mountains. So that's pretty cool.
We cannot forget of the fight of Dill versus Sandstorm.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there was a sandstorm that was foreshadowed a couple of sessions before it actually happened in one of the cover stories, which also foreshadowed the Nomads, which just came in, 2 sessions ago. So that was like some 4D chest there for you folks. But Dill, while everyone battened down the hatches and took cover from this sandstorm, this guy decided to bust out the katanas and try to sword fight a sandstorm. It was glorious. He took just a shit ton of damage, and he emerged what he calls victorious, but really he survived a sandstorm. He says he defeated a sandstorm. He survived a sandstorm, but it was pretty impressive because I wasn't pulling punches. I actually did a shit ton of damage to this dude, and there was a chance he could have absolutely died. I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? This is what you want to do? He was like, hell yeah. Like, let's go. So that was wild. And it had been a goal of Dill's for a while to hone his swordsmanship and whatnot, and get to the point where he could get another katana. And then recently, after fighting with Zara in the bar with the rest of the crew and whatnot, he now has an additional katana. So that's really, really cool. Y'all are about to see a whole nother side of Dill whenever we get back into shit. Because he hasn't had his full setup yet. This is when the build really comes online for him. So looking forward to that. But yeah, then we get to post Shivers stuff. And the most dominant of those being Bang D Boom, the myth, the man, the legend himself, right here. The man, the myth, the legend himself, inbound from an archipelago in the deep north, like the north, like the icy north. He sailed in. What's up?
I'm surprised there's an archipelago in the north.
Oh, there's archipelagos everywhere, bro. An archipelago is just like any cluster of like islands. It doesn't have to be like tropical. Yeah. But Bang D Boom found himself on a merchant vessel inbound to Livneal, North Port, or Port Delphina, which is it's typically a pretty high security gig. This ship from this area, in general, any ships coming out of this archipelago, pretty high security. It's this archipelago known for weapons manufacturing, apparently. And also any ships going into Port Delphina, any of those merchant ships are pretty high security as well, because it's a pirate port. So you can't really trust, you got to take a little bit of extra measures. So with both of these, instances, meaning that high security is of the top priority, then it was surprising whenever the ship gets completely raided by pirates and overthrown while Bang D Boom was on board. So he then was trying to buddy up with the pirates until it land ho shortly after, where then he met up with the Scarlet Pirates. Pete, if you're there, let me know how your first impression was of the crew.
I mean, when you are escaping some violence and you pull up on a blood-soaked port, it's kind of an interesting scene to take in. But matters of dire circumstance, you kind of had to trust one or the other, and the other guys were already not being very trustworthy. So, kind of had to roll the dice.
Yeah, and you made a bit of an entrance yourself, right? As one ship drifted its way outside accidentally of Coldwater Cove, and we lost two of our previous crewmates and the whole ship they were on. Another ship, the merchant ship, drifted on in, but before it could even get to the docks, you had a bit of a contingency plan for if things got a little heated on board, right? And how did that end up going?
Well, they were not trying to negotiate in good faith. While I can appreciate a good business deal or even a contract, they were not being genuine, and they were just not really giving off the right vibe. But mom ain't raised no fool, so I had to make sure to keep a little surprise, in store for him. Did a little sneaking around, dropping a little gunpowder, just to make sure everything is safe and sound. Because, it's a nice ship and all, but it's not my ship. And, what if I gotta value some random ship over my life potentially? And there were 3 of them. So, once negotiations started to break down a little bit, much to their surprise, my handy revolver, came in. The aim was true, and we were able to create a sufficient distraction for me to, well, at least what I thought would have them sinking towards the bottom of the ocean and allow me to swim to shore. But I guess that didn't stick.
It was a valiant effort, and for a good bit of the intro session for you, you guys thought that they were dealt with. That's for sure. And yeah, you swam up to the docks and found yourself on a bloody port, and the Scarlet Pirates were there. You guys ended up fighting those pirates, and you guys kind of chummed up. You guys bonded a little bit, and that was pretty tight. And you guys banded together for the next 3 days or so to salvage the now 7 wrecked ships in Coldwater Cove. There was some able swimmers, most predominantly Lord Azrael, the 4-arm, long arm mantis shrimp fish man from a sky island, who was able to really haul a lot of that underwater salvage up to the docks. And with all of that, you guys were able to revitalize the town's economy after murdering so much of it, and then repair at least one workable seafaring vessel from all of these 6 wrecked ones, or 7 wrecked ones. And then on that 3rd day, after all of your long hard work was done, bang dee boom, the news coups came a-fluttering in and delivered the World Economic Newspaper, which again you can go check out on the Scarlet Pirates Twitter, twitter.com/pirates_scarlet, with Scarlet with 1 T. And you found out the bounties of all of these individuals that just befriended you. Let's go ahead and list off our bounties, if you would. Davos, do you know your bounty by heart? You have it memorized?
Your boy got that 27 million.
Let's
Long
go.
way to go to 100, but well, actually, Dill already has 100. That's right. But
Spoilers.
Either way, I'll get there soon.
Yeah. So 27 mil for Davos, the little city boy from an orphanage in Port Vestibule on the south side of Livneal, is a wanted man now. Before, there was 20 million for their whole crew and another 20 million for sinking a ship was the original bounty by Shivers. It was just an impromptu bounty, no poster or anything, just like an on the spot, like I don't have time for this, bounty hunters get them, kind of vibe. But now this man himself is worth more than 20 mil. He's 27 million. Let's fucking go. And then we have Lord Azrael's bounty reveal. This big swole. Ragnar, do you have your bounty memorized, or did you pull it up and you know what your bounty is off the top of your head?
My bounty is 30 mil.
Yeah, boy. You got that East Blue Luffy bounty. Spoilers. Sorry for the live action.
Yeah,
but...
I saw that too. At first, I thought it was some kind of Arlong comparison, but I was like, no, that's 3 times Arlong, to be honest. Right? Is that right?
No, I think it is the same as Arlong. But yeah, I mean, whatever works, man. It's not always about fish, man. Okay.
Wait, Arlong's was 20 million.
Was it?
It was? Yeah, I'm better than Arlong. Okay, I'll take it. Hey,
he said, okay. So we have Lord Azrael, 4-arm Azrael with 30 mil on his head. That's a big old bounty. And then Balincc, are you there? Can you if you are, let me know. Let me know if you remember your bounty for Captain Scarlet off the top of your head. Oh, you're too modest. Balincc is Captain Scarlet's bounty is a little bit higher even than your boy. I think I have them as handouts, don't I? Yeah. So let's pull up Scarlet. We've got, there it is, the one and only Captain Scarlet with a 35 million berry bounty, which is quite impressive. And you hear that, you know, that's because, you know, captain's bounties often grow much faster than the rest of the crews. And this was when they got the reveal as well of the first mate's bounty. This was when everybody got to see Dill. Oh, it looks to be an older picture of Dill even.
I don't think it's a typo.
With his bounty of 100 million.
Fake news. It's fake news, guys. It was a typo. It's a typo.
Interesting.
I refuse to believe it. There's no way my brother would be 100 million berry bounty holder, and he would never tell me. That's no different from betrayal.
So yeah, the Bang D Boom, you had seen this newspaper revealing the fresh bounties for some of this new crew here. What were your first thoughts on that after the 3 days of settling in at this bloody port here?
Well, I was definitely surprised, you know, higher than I thought they would be. I kind of figured they were pirates, but I'm also just wondering if that Dill dude just like slap an admiral in the face or something like that. Like, why do they put 100 million on his head?
Yeah, it's a lot of digits. That's a lot.
But you know, we've kind of already made our bed. So you know, seems like it's going to be an interesting ride.
Yeah, and while you were just mulling this over, and it just got in the news, dropped in with perfect accuracy. Like, these news coups are crazy, precise. You know, this thing fell straight into your hands, pretty much. And another one simultaneously fell straight through the hole in the roof of the bar and directly onto the table. The currently, you know, drinking and kind of partying Scarlet Pirates started to like yell in excitement after seeing their bounty reveals with the newspaper drop, quite literally drop. And yeah, Bang D Boom at the docks was hearing this excitement from the bar as they got the news that he just got, and he was contemplating it over, and he saw two lovely ladies walking on into the bar. And that brings us to the Zara and Sonja fight, which was insane.
Best fight in my opinion.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog snoring. Give me just 1 second. But yeah, Zara and Sonja were ridiculous.
I enjoyed dunking on them and fucking them up. It really pissed me off.
Yeah, so obviously Zara was a female version of Zoro, and Sonja is a female version of Sanji. But specifically, the Sanji from Romance Dawn, like the concept Sanji, which was actually a gunslinger. But yeah, other than dunking on them, what was your favorite part of that fight? Let's start with Yeah, like Davos. Aside from just the general, like, what do you have a favorite moment from that fight, Mikey D?
I mean, kind of a tie between fighting like a bunch of Zoro's classic moves, but then also having like Sonja go a little bit of a different direction than just a one-to-one with Sonji. So it was like kind of the best of both worlds in terms of that attack. Davos didn't really fight Sonja, so I guess I don't know fully, but it was still cool. I will agree. I think that was a very vivid fight. It was very easy to picture in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody
It's a lot.
knows whatever you say, like onigiri and like, you know, like tatsumaki and ashira
Yeah.
and things like that. People kind of know what an image that comes into their head.
Yeah, it's
So-
definitely an aid for sure. But that made that fight really special, even though those two pissed me the hell off. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to imagine, you know, like, what's your cumulative bounty as a crew? So 30 plus
Oh, I know
35
we're a
is,
pretty penny.
so it's 165 plus 27 comes up to 192 million berries.
Not to mention whatever Harry's is.
Oh yeah, no, that's perfect, because remember Harry said he had the same bounty as Higuma, which was 8 million, so that puts you exactly at 200 million
That's right.
accumulative bounty.
Nice. I find that suspicious, though.
But the thing is if two bounty hunters walk into a bar full of basically like 200 million worth of marks, and you expect them not to hit that, you know, come on now, like, but yeah, you guys got into an all-out brawl. I know Dill was trying to handle Zara as much as possible, and with you know, your boy Dill being a huge Zoro fan, I'm sure he really enjoyed it as well. Ragnar, did you have a favorite moment in that fight?
With Captain Shivers.
No, we're talking about now. It was Sonja versus Azrael.
I had a lot of moments that pissed me off, but none that favorite. No, I did not enjoy that fight. I wish she could not freaking teleport.
Oh yeah, this girl could use basically like almost like a light speed, you know, like a poof bamf, you know, misty step teleport kind of thing. She had a limited number of uses of it though, so she was out by the time you ended up beating the shit out of her. You remember when she hit you in the face with with a crit?
Gun. And it was a crit. Yeah.
She's a gunslinger who specializes in like you know, like ricochet distant shots and things like that, and like trick shooting and whatnot. And instead of firing a bullet, she literally just she pistol whips you in the face for like fucking, what was it, 14 damage or something on a crit, which is crazy.
Funny thing was, it actually put him to sleep above board.
No, this man actually fell asleep. IRL, he got hit so hard in D&D that he passed out in real life. It
That's
was amazing.
right. Oh my god. It took me a
timing was
second to
immaculate.
recall exactly what you're talking about.
Pete, what was your favorite moment of the fight that you had? I know you're a huge Zoro fan, right? Like, you think I did it justice as like a East Blue Zoro, or like a maybe slightly ahead of East Blue Zoro?
Definitely. I think it was a great portrayal. But Sonja also got on my nerves quite a bit. My my revolver wasn't shooting the best that day, so it wasn't a good look. But I very rarely get to use my mace, and I was able to just, you know, drop the King's Justice with my mace one time. That was fun to me.
That was sick.
Zara was knocked prone.
Yeah, that was absolutely sick.
Put a real wallop.
And so yeah, that was kind of the conclusion there. I know for Captain Scarlet, she enjoyed cutting a whole, like with the whole Balincc signature technique, cutting a C through, almost hitting both of them, but technically just like really cutting into Zara and with the great sword, because Captain Scarlet's really trying to get good with this great sword. Got some good tips and some support from Softy Boy, who's right there backing her up. And then Harry came in kind of clutch as well when he pulled the carpet from underneath that bitch. Like, yeah, there's some cool teamwork with some of the secondary crew. The B team, they were kicking ass as well. Poor Dill got downed like 3 or 4 times during that fight, but you guys were able to pull him back up a couple times. It was close, right?
Yeah, he wasn't necessarily ready for that 1v1,
So this means that I think we can officially scale Zara over a sandstorm, right?
That's fair.
No, not really, to be honest. No.
Okay.
I don't know. She downed him like 3 times.
She did get him pretty good, yeah.
Just to be clear here, that storm's power was dispersed over an area. It wasn't concentrated into one spot. So, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you could also say the same thing about Zara, who was doing nothing but AoE strikes against all of you guys because she was surrounded.
It does sound like a skill issue, I'm going to be honest right now.
But after that, you guys got a good night's rest and continued to mingle amongst the people and whatnot. And then it was the next night, I believe, where all of the nomads started to make their way in from the central of the 3 deserts, it seems, from like basically like the cactus belt area. They started to approach, and you guys saw like hundreds of torches, in the night, that started to cross the river not too far from here and start to set up camp outside of Port Delfina, or I'm sorry, Port Scarletta, as it is now known. And then we got to the most recent session, which you can definitely catch. There's a playlist that this video will be going on as well, if you need to catch up on any of that. But we just wanted to do a little bit of a recap session, go over everything that happened last week specifically, but also kind of, this was good. This is a good time to go over some of the session 0 stuff that we were doing, which is unfortunately not on this channel, but we're going to be shouting back to it more and more moving forward. So it's good that we kind of did a chill session to get all this done for you guys. We hope we can get Dill back with us next week, and my internet will be cooperating so we can go live. But yeah, I remember you brought up earlier Davos Scrub Daddy, rip to a legend, right? Like
shout out. Rest
pour
in
some
peace.
out. Yeah, pour some out for the homies. That's is there any other people we've lost along the way?
Shout out to old lady,
Oh yeah, Baba Mira, she's confirmed dead as well. I just like, so if we're gonna do like a wiki, like Rustage, instead of so I think we could do if we do a kill count moving forward, I think that would be something that's kind of cool. You guys keep track on your bio pages or something but
yeah, that one definitely goes under Ragnar, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't do it on purpose, though.
You did. So this whole village was like terrified of gold, apparently, and this lady was like screaming at the top of her lungs, and you just drop a bag of gold right in front of her as she's yelling about curses and the devil.
Well, it was unintentional but hilarious.
It was both of those things, yes.
I think it's for the betterment of the group that she's gone. I'm gonna be honest.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess if you guys had any other SBS questions, maybe you wanted to ask each other real quick before we wrap it up. We've still got a little bit of time to kill. Mikey, you're still good for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'm rolling good.
Okay, so if Mikey had one question in a little bit of downtime to ask Party Pete, or I'm not Party Pete, but Bang D Boom, since he's joined, what would Davos ask Bang D Boom?
This could kind of go for everyone as well, but it can be specifically for Bang. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food. Well, it's just gotta be a steak. I don't know what that translates to in the One Piece world. It's just like a lamb chop, like Luffy eats all the time.
Oh, they got beef.
They got cows.
Yeah, they got cows. They got milkmaids. They definitely got cows. They got sea cows too. Those things are fucking huge. Can you imagine like that Fred Flintstone ass fucking brontosaurus steak, bro?
Well, look, man. A sea cow steak is the best thing after a hard day's work. You know, grew up on a shipyard and that type deal. Man, you just have a nice little sea cow steak.
I imagine like if Bang D Boom, does he get in the kitchen? He cooks it himself, or does he go order it?
Of course.
Oh yeah, so you do the whole Emerald Lagasse thing, like where you throw like the salt and pepper on it, you go bang, like
like salt poppy or whatever his name is.
Bro. Okay, so favorite food. Azrael, favorite food, and hopefully it's not shrimp cocktail.
Sushi and seawater.
Oh my god, seaweed salad. Yeah. What kind of
Fisher food, not friends.
Fisher food, not friends. What kind of sushi? Like a California roll, or does he get like a Philly, or like some like really fancy, like sashimi, like
little spicy tuna joint, you know?
You see, I only eat the herbivore fish, so fish that eat plants.
But you don't eat fish that eat other fish because those are your brothers.
Those are my brothers, yeah.
Because you're a fish that eats other fish man that eats other fish. Sorry. And yeah, we have proven that you can sustain yourself because shrimp are like kind of like filter feeder-ish, like you could just drink seawater, like, and you're fine off of that. So Davos, right. What's your favorite food? I think you've said this before, if I recall correctly. You said any sandwich, right? But like, let's get specific. Like, what's Davos's dream sandwich, if that's what you're still going with?
Oh shit. I think he's still figuring out a dream sandwich, the one best sandwich of his life. But I think since just before the start of our adventure, and for now, steamed buns. He's really into steamed buns. Some pork belly on top, maybe. I
think that's hilarious. Is it your first name Bao? Like, but it's spelled like B-A-U instead of like Bao, like B-A-O. Like.
That's cool. I didn't even think of that, but that makes it work even better.
Yeah, Bao Davos, like quite literally, like a.
Maybe at some point a delicious Italian gyro would be his favorite. Who knows though? I think the realm of sandwich love for Davos is in its infancy still. It's deep, but it's young.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing about like food in One Piece, and I want to do more on my channel about that later when I've got like more video editing under my belt and whatnot, and more time to devote to it. But like, there's no Italy in One Piece, so you can't call it like an Italian sub. So we, coming up with like another thing, like you can't call it baked Alaska or like a Philly, like you like all these like regional foods. Like, how would you reinvent that?
The Water 7 sub,
The Water 7
they got the best subs.
a classic. Yeah.
Well, they called everything there mizu,
stuff.
like so it was like mizu, you know, so like a mizu pork
wet.
and yeah, so like yeah, water like or whatever, but and then yeah, they had like the cloud candy and stuff like that, and like Saba Odi had its own like cuisine, and like there's all this cool stuff to think about. So it's a great question. It's honestly a great question.
Me and P wanted to ask this earlier because we weren't sure. The ship that Bang D Boom came on, is that the cargo ship we were waiting on?
Yes, that is the exact one that I foreshadowed before Pete was ever supposed to be a part of the campaign. Because hey,
in the cover story, you made the owner of the ship sound like some hot shot badass with like 50 guns, and he got robbed by 2 random dudes.
There were 3 of them.
There were 3 of them, and they weren't random. They were like level 4 dudes. You guys just all took them out.
I agree, they weren't random, but still. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying. I wrote it. So there's a bunch of these ships. His security is spread thin. Didn't you read the cover story where it was saying that there's like however many of these coming through in the next month? Like each of them have to have their own security, right?
Which is why Bang D Boom, brother Pete here brought up, they're gonna think that we took the ship because no ship returned.
Yeah, and
so,
oh man, that's probably true.
I don't know why you brought that up. I'm gonna be honest.
He's like over here, like, come on, man, like.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that was honestly a very good question because, like, yeah, honestly, food in One Piece is going to be a huge thing on my channel once I start getting the ball rolling on more than just these streams. So excellent question there, Davos. In that same vein, beverage, you know, like what's Davos's beverage of choice? You like a coffee guy or tea or like OJ, or what's going on with? Like, remember, One Piece is like crazy, so there could be pretty much anything you can imagine. Like what's Davos drinking, you know?
He doesn't drink it very often, but cola probably. I think he really likes cola.
Super. Yeah, like, okay,
Yeah,
so
a little bit of super.
I get you. What about Bang D Boom? He likes some pop as well, you know. You see what I did there?
Whiskey for sure.
Whiskey, got you. So
Mm-hmm.
you know how like
question.
so they have like
About,
bourbon,
yeah.
which is like whiskey that's localized, like and like they have Tennessee whiskey. Which of the One Piece islands do you think has the smokiest fucking whiskey, like that peat?
Oh, I gotta have the whiskey that comes from Whole Cake Island. It's like a black market item, but you know, of the few luxuries I have in life.
That's a really good pick. You know, there's a place literally called Whiskey Peak, but you don't think they have some good brew? You know,
I've heard weird things about that place, so sometimes names might be a little too on the nose.
And then Lord Azrael, are you good with just plain old seawater, or is there specifically a beverage that you prefer to that, or maybe there's a specific sea that's the water you prefer? Like is white sea water, like the clouds, is that way better than this blue sea shit, or like what are you drinking?
The white sea water is more like a diet sea water, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a bit less salty. It's more on the fluffy, cloudy side. It goes down with a bit of it has an aftertaste, right? The seawater down here takes a bit long to go through the filter, so it's a bit slow on the drink. You know, you kind of sip it. So if I had a preference, I would click white seawater, of course. But
The way you described it, it's like seawater flavored LaCroix, you know, like it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like the ghost of seawater past. Like it's like it doesn't like it's like yeah, it's like Wish brand seawater, but If you had to sit down and order something at a restaurant, though, is that what you're asking for, or do you have like something that you like to drink above?
I would probably ask for water from the Calm Belt. You got Calm Belt water?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
for
A bit on
Eddie.
the
Water.
literally living life on the
That's a
edge.
bit expensive.
Let me
Yeah.
get that Fiji calm belt, you know.
Let me get that. No matter of fact, get me that Amazonian water. Give me that boa bath water. Like,
Oh my god.
Oh, a bath water.
This man just said that.
Give me that boa bath.
We were all thinking it. He's just the one who said it, you know?
I don't know if we were all thinking it. I'm gonna be honest. I did have a question on the subject of water, though. In terms of turning seawater into drinkable water, is there like a process for that in D&D?
Yeah, so there's like desalinization. The most simple method is using like a couple pots or like bowls, and then some dirty water, and then obviously like a heat source like fire. So if you
Boil it.
get 3 different size bowls, like one big bowl on the bottom right on the fire, fill it with the dirty water. Then you take the second biggest bowl, flip it upside down in that one to form like a nearly perfect seal, and the third biggest bowl is like underneath it, and it's like catching all. It's like, I don't know, like, yeah. But it's I probably said that in the wrong order.
I get
But
what you mean. I just wanted to make sure that I just wanted to see if there was a process that.
yeah, you boil it out and it evaporates and recollects, and when it recollects, none of the sediments and salt are there. And so this is also a common way of making salt. And silica, which can be used to form glass as well. But yeah, forges aren't a thing in the middle of the desert, so there's a.
Hey, but there is a forge on the ship, at least from what I heard.
That is true. That is absolutely true. But you remember hearing that Azrael would have had to wait for what he said, like a cloud spot or a cloud burst. I don't think that's anything that Bang Di Boo might have heard of up in Akatsuki Archipelago, you know.
Yeah, wait for a cloud burst for what?
To be able to burn, to melt things down.
Well, where I'm from, we just use coal.
Yeah, good luck finding any of that around here. But
we gonna make some.
so we did food and beverages. Excellent question, Davos. And I just wanted to add on to that with the beverage side of things, because that's kind of fun as well, talking about all of that. You imagine devil fruit juice would also give you a power as well?
Ooh, that's kind of interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it probably would.
I feel like we should make a trade in that.
Pete, if you have a question you want to pose to the table that we have real quick as like a SBS kind of question, like how tall are the crew, or like I don't know, like dream, or like just anything really, just spitballing, you know.
So is Davos like dying to leave this island since he's from here, or is it like trying to like, okay, we're chilling out here? Like, I don't understand. What's Davos trying to do outside of the rise of the Scarlet Pirates?
Davos is a mystery, that's for sure.
Well, I've let it. I haven't necessarily been keeping it a secret. Well, Davos hasn't been keeping it a secret. He's not like jazzed to be staying here, but he's also super down for the Scarlet Pirate cause. So like, he's not pitching a fit or anything. He's not like freaking out, but he's been on the alert, I guess, just being on the island he grew up on. Been a little extra on alert. And yeah, he set out to sail the Grand Line, but even though those desires are still there, he's gonna follow Scarlet and the crew.
I really liked your reaction to like seeing the desert in its full whenever you first met Dalt Wisney, and you were just like kind of like, this is so big and there's so much, and you know, like you've never seen this side of things, because yeah, you originally set out for the Grand Line to go fetch the One Piece. Like you're riding this wave at the beginning of the Golden Age of Piracy, and then you end up in your own backyard and you're so fascinated with what's here that you're just like, hey, wait a minute, you know, like let's explore this too, you know, like, and like that was like so cool to me. Like I love that moment for Davos.
Thank you. Yeah, I liked that too. I'm glad it struck and resonated.
Well, yeah, I was just wondering. Davos is probably one of the crew members I've interacted the least with. Oh, did I give him the quarterstaff already?
You could do that right now, bro. Like that's fine. Like,
Hey, oh my goodness, I forgot about that.
I think I
Really?
put it on your character sheet, but yeah, you're gonna be hitting a little more accurate and a little harder now with that really fancy quarterstaff that Azrael made, and Pete ended up bartering for after he made the hater blockers.
Y'all are badass for that.
Legendary
I'm
trademark.
actually
as well.
told that Davos got that weapon. Davos has been deserving a reward with all the W's he's been doing for the
Yeah,
crew.
For real.
Like Davos like straight up did from the Davy back fight days, W Helmsman, you know what I'm saying? To
Dude, that
even
was
the
a very
first
strong
fight.
debut.
Yes, very, very
Oh.
strong.
Yeah,
I
the
guess that
first
would be-
wave,
I guess
like
that-
the whole town
nailed
fight,
it.
major W's. The Davy back fight, major
That's what I
W's.
was late just getting to that. Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah, Davos
Well, I guess-
deserves more.
I guess that would be another question, I guess, for everyone. But is it like, what's your most desired piece of equipment that you don't already have?
Excellent question. So Davos, you have you have normal clothes, and your shield has a dent in it now from that sniper, remember? And but you do have this badass new quarterstaff. But aside from that, you don't have much to your name, because you're kind of impoverished for coming from like a city, right? You know, like
Yeah, big time.
Okay.
Big time.
Mikey, I don't know if you I don't know if you think this is crazy, but I think you're actually really suited for a paladin.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean. I didn't go that route because that's what I am in my IRL session, but I think I've kind of like,
Kept some of the traits and brought it over.
yeah, they've bled over the other way too. I'm playing
Yeah.
my paladin a little like a cleric as well.
I think that'd be perfect though, is because like if you're going to try to claim the One Piece, that's kind of like the perfect oath of conquest, right? Like,
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. So
I
is
just
there
thought of it
any
now.
equipment that you feel like you're missing to make all your clerical dreams come true?
well, aside
Are
from
you
just
a
being
healer
a
as well?
cleric, he is a W Helmsman, and so like, yeah, is there anything you maybe want by your side while you're steering the ship? Or is there anything that you want added to your character sheet for when you're in a fight? But like, so there's exploration, there's role play, and then there's combat. And so like, you can think about each of the pillars when you think about maybe equipment that you might be missing right now. So it could also just be something for the ship if it's not something for you specifically, right? But yeah, what's on your
Yeah.
wish list for Davos? Your Amazon wish list, not sponsored.
That's tough to say in terms of like I have an answer. I feel like it's a little cheating, but I already have two. I want to learn all six of the six powers. I've got Shigon and I've got Shave, which I've
So rude.
repurposed from Misty Step.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of like answer number one. But that's kind of that'll be a long haul type of
Yeah, I was thinking more like items.
yeah, items though. I haven't really thought about that too much. I guess a better shield at some point, especially now that it's dented. But this one will still do the trick for now. I mean, I don't think it's compromised.
Yeah, but you could go for like some pimpin' boots or some gauntlets, or like I don't know, like you can get like a cool like bitchin' pair of overalls made, or like a straw hat. I don't know. I heard those are popular, but like there's like a lot of different like, you know, I don't know, like if you had to like put, so even if it's not like a combat specific item, just like some flair, like what can you see? Like he can get his own pair of maybe some hater blockers. See Davos pulling up in some shades.
I mean, in general, yeah, maybe stuff to up my AC a little more. It's kind of comfortable, but I always love overclocking armor class. More like aesthetic or roleplay-ish. I did kind of like see eventually, and I don't know if I'm married to pure white at this point, but like a gi with the green shoulder drape Davos already has on in the token. And I mean, maybe it could be like some sort of burnished gray, deep gray with a rope belt, that kind of being his signature look.
Okay.
So some clothes, you know, it's a new fit. What about Ragnar? Does Lord Azrael have anything on his wish list item wise?
Equipment. If you could make gauntlets with the fingers, like the gauntlets like cover like the back of my hand and like my forearm,
Yeah.
but not affect my fingers, that would be amazing. Because I would still be able to be a doctor, but like have like cool equipment.
And
There's
that's
not
two
much
pairs,
Azrael can do
right?
for equipment, really. Well, it'd be two pairs, yes.
Yeah, 2 pairs, because you've got the
Right,
forearms.
Forearms. Yeah, right.
What about like a lab coat or a clipboard or a stethoscope? Like that'd be like a cool weapon for you to use.
I think I should just buy a stethoscope because there's probably like really good ones out there I can buy. The one, if anything, you know when you close your hands and like a knife would come out of it, like one of those.
Yeah, I guess you
need
hidden weapons. I'm more in the bomb.
Hidden
Weapons are interesting.
A switchblade. Got it. Yeah, that's what he wants.
That's what it's called.
Not quite, but you know, same.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, but wild. What about Bang D Boom? Other than like a sand surfing ship, like what's on your wish list for equipment immediately? I know this is a fascinating topic for Bang D Boom. This is his life's passion, right? Well, this is going to be something big. Well, hit me with it.
Well, there's a couple projects I'm working on. So in terms of long term, you know, we're starting a gun collection process because I'm going to attempt to combine multiple guns into one gun to give the biggest boom. And in terms of more immediate things, the gun that I procured from Sonja, I'm going to try to attach that to my leg. But also, the Azrael gave me some interesting ideas with those arrows that he has, that they said they were using to defeat monsters and stuff like that. And we have a ballista and a newly found friendship between me and Azrael. So I'm thinking about crafting some harpoons, tipped with those glass arrowheads.
Yeah, you did also mention grenades, didn't you?
Yes, grenades are one thing that I am very excited about making. And so, I think we'll bring a lot of extra room. There's lots of plans in terms of gadgeteering when it comes to
no, I like it. Yeah, that's a lot to look forward to. You heard it here first, folks. then Ragnar, did you have any like an SBS style question you wanted to pose to the table real quick? Because I'm really enjoying this. This is a lot of fun.
All right. So you know that the crew's mascot is Ragnar, then, right? So technically, it's a snail, but a very unique snail. You won't be able to find a snail anywhere else in the world like Ragnar, then, most likely. I don't know if this is a fact. Wait, there is one other snail, but that's a backstory thing that I can't get into. If there was another mascot you could pick for the crew, what animal would it be and why?
Oh damn. Davos. You got anything to start off with? That's a great question.
Will you repeat the second half?
If you had one mascot you could pick for the crew, what would it be and why? Can't be a snail. Something else.
Yeah, like to replace Ragnarden, or if Ragnarden didn't already exist, what would the mascot that you chose be?
Damn, that feels dirty to even have to pick. But I think like a griffin. I don't really I know there are manticores in One Piece, but I don't know if a griffin itself is even a thing in lore. But I could see like a scarlet griffin.
Well, so Griffin's the name of Shanks's blade. I'm sure they exist in mythology in One Piece, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
I'm positive. So that's actually really tight as well, because like yeah, I guess like with Scarlet and like red hair Shanks, you know, like that's a cool tie in there as well. So Griffin's dope, and Gryffindor, they have like red and gold as their colors, right? Like.
Yes. So they are a thing. I just looked it up. They're spelled Gryphons, Griffins, and apparently we don't know what they look like, but Montdor trapped one in the big book.
Oh wow, that's cool. I bet it's like a sky person that's a little bit more feathered, you know, like maybe or something like that, because that was like for like races, like humanoid races, right? Or I don't know, like because like the Impel Down creatures, I don't think she maybe she did. Do you think she captured a Sphinx in that book too, and like a Manticore?
I think she did, because it's I thought it was that there was like the people, and then she had books from each of the four blues filled with like the animals.
That's wild. I didn't know it went that deep. I have no wow.
Yeah,
it's so crazy because like I
crazy.
watched Whole Cake so fast that every now and then someone will say something. I was like, that didn't happen. Like, yeah, they did in Whole Cake. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, and like little tiny small parts of Whole Cake just like slipped through the cracks because I binged through Whole Cake so fast. So I really probably should watch through it again. Like, cause this is not the first time where somebody said something. I'm just like, no way. Like, I remember all of the bigger plot things. It's just, there's like some little tiny things here and there where I'm just like, that didn't happen. Like,
absolutely. There's a lot of stuff to look over. And I did the same thing because I was so jazzed about getting to Wano, which was like just reaching its peak at the time I was reading Whole Cake, that I just powered through it. But it's got a lot of really, really deep lore stuff in there, all just like peppered in. It's all over the entire arc, and it's easy to miss stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely dense. Like, cause I go in on Dressrosa. I love Dressrosa, and I liked Whole Cake a lot, but I never gave it a second watch through. I've probably watched Dressrosa like 8 times by now though. But we got a little bit sidetracked. Sorry, Pete. If you had to pick another mascot for the whole crew that wasn't Ragnarden, what would it be? And tell me why it's your canon. Like I'm just kind of figuring it's already that's the dead giveaway, right? That's the mascot, right?
Oh well, yeah. If you're supposed to be, you know, pirate crew trying to, you know, bring to light the next queen of the pirates, then you gotta enter the world with a little bit of a bang, you know what I'm saying? And what's better to do that than a nice strong cannon?
So Bang D Blast, the built-in like little recorded phrase. It's let's have a blast. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And then we just got the reveal of Bang D Patch, which is what was the built-in phrase for that one?
Oh, I hadn't really thought about that one.
Because I think you said it.
Way.
Okay, yeah, because I think you said it in session like last week when we were recording, but obviously I can't hear any of that, like because it's not recorded.
Remember, so
Okay,
it's gonna be patches on the way. Because that's what it does.
Yeah, like okay, and then we have Bang D Whoosh. That's the third one, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That one's kind of collecting dust on the shelf. It hasn't even been pre-recorded message yet. Bang D Blast is kind of old faithful, and
it's like a prototype.
Patch,
yeah, it's still a work in progress. I got you. Just like all of the lower floors of this ship, because I still haven't made a map for it yet, because I've been busy.
Flair and spirit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then Ragnar, since you asked the question, we'll go to you last. Then, if you didn't have Ragnar in a world so cold, like what would be the replacement? The new mascot for the Scarlet Pirates?
Surprisingly, this is probably a lot easier for me than other people, because I immediately made a lot of new friends once I came to the new blue. So I would probably say whatever species of fish that I first made friends with. I don't remember remember the first fish I met in the Navy backfight? Probably whoever that first fish was would be the new mascot, in my opinion.
I'm almost positive.
It's the fish I don't. We never talked about it, but it's the fish we never talked about the species of fish, but it's the fish I walk around in the jar with.
Yeah, I'm almost positive I said it looks like Dory. So it's one of those little blue, I forget what they're called. It's a blue thing though. You know what I mean? It looks like Dory from Finding Nemo. Not sponsored. Disney, don't cancel me. Not even monetized yet. But so Dory, but not like Dory and Brogy Dory, right? Like, but that would be the mascot, you'd think, or like a piranha, because I think for you've grown really close to the piranhas, right? Because those are not the vegetarian fish. If there's any other SBS type questions, this has been a lot of fun actually, but yeah, if there's any other questions that you guys might have, if you wanted to pose, or even any that any of the lovely people here in the D&D pit with us while we're recording would like to put into the chat, we can answer those real quick. Otherwise, we'll be calling it pretty shortly here. And I don't know if Ragnar knows that he muted himself up, because sometimes he doesn't. So I'm just messaging.
Oh yeah, I am muted. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he just like didn't respond, and I was like, he's muted. Like,
what was the question?
Here's a new one for you. The Scarlet Pirates had jobs IRL. What would they be? Posed by Who Man, who streams on his channel for Group 6 every other Sunday. Link in the description. Let's start with Ragnar, since you were just not getting back to me. If Lord Azrael had an IRL job, what would it be? I can see him as like one of those guys who like goes around the mall spraying people with perfume samples, but he's got like 4 arms, so he can just do it twice as efficiently.
That is way too nice of a job. My character would be a serial killer, most likely.
That's your professional job, IRL. Wow. Well, we won't unpack that too much. I'm just gonna take your word for it. What about Davos? If Davos had an IRL job, what would it be? Is he gonna be selling cars or flipping burgers or I don't know, like making stuff? Like what would his IRL profession be?
I have no idea.
I think that might be part of the reason why he went out to sea, is he didn't want to think about it, right?
Yeah, he'd probably just be as unemployed as possible. I mean, he'd get a job if he had to, but ideal job is none. Maybe like a non-profit worker for the well-being of orphans. I think that that could be something that would draw his will.
Yeah, like an orphanage caseworker, like that would, like a social worker, that would be really good. Excellent. Pete, if Bang D it'd be a gun manufacturer. He's a
yeah, for sure.
Gunsmith, or like maybe like a shooting range, owner. So people just got to come to you, like a
work for the bomb squad or something,
That's a really great question. Thank you, man. Next up, we have a great question again from Dire Regulus, who streams Group 3 every Saturday. Just had a session yesterday, actually, because they couldn't make it last Saturday. But every Saturday, this is Group 3, hosted by Blinka's Kev, but streamed by Dire Regulus. Link in the description. He asks, if the Scarlet Pirates were gym leaders, what type of Pokemon would they use? Let's start with Davos. And don't say normal.
That's a great question. I would
Fighting,
say
right?
Davos, probably fire.
Fire or fighting, right? Like I think Davos gives me like a dojo vibe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of thinking like Blaziken would be there. A probably like souped up Charizard. Would be in the mix with like Mega Kick, I think is what it's called. That like soup, like it's only got 5 uses, 5 whatever it's called, AP. But that thing, like that is a killer attack if you get it to connect. But yeah, fire, light focus on fighting. I agree.
Yeah, you could have all of the different firefighting starters there. That's because there's like 3 of them.
That would be so cool.
Excellent question, Dire. I love it. Let's see from Pete now. I think fire might be the obvious answer as well. Or did you have a different answer? If you were a Pokemon gym leader, what typage would you have?
Oh, metal.
Steel? Yeah. Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, steel is perfect. That was quick too. We came right out with that.
I think it would be a great combination. Because you need strong steel if you're gonna make stuff go boom, at least effectively.
And then I think we all know that Azrael would absolutely be water type, right? With maybe like with a fighting sub theme.
No, I'm not gonna lie, water type is kind of trash, so I want to use it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what would you be if not water?
Probably dark type. Dark type is probably where I would go. I'll probably have something like Absol, Mightyana. Surprisingly, I might have a Macargo. Even though I'm a dark type user, I might have a Macargo.
You just totally
just because
care.
It's a snail.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, you should have a Machamp. Just as another 4-arm blue bro. You know
what? You're right. I should also have a Machamp.
Just the body improvement club. It's just a bunch of machamps, just all high fiving each other with all 4 of their arms all the time. Like,
I don't know
what
what kind
about
of gym I would be, but those are Pokemon I'd probably go with. Machamp, Macargo, Absol, Mightyana. My dog guy.
For Dill, I think psychic, right? He would definitely be psychic.
Yeah,
Am I crazy for a thing? Dill would go for Ghost. You know,
Oh yeah,
Ghost
that
would-
actually makes way more sense. Yeah, with the
Yeah,
whole
it
whales
does.
from the grave thing. Yeah, so Ghost with maybe a psychic focus. That makes a lot of sense. And then for Scarlet,
Scarlet, I feel like would be a fire type.
yeah, probably fire. It's a fairly diverse party though for the most part. It's a little bit of overlap, but another excellent question. Thank you guys. I don't understand the next question. So if that person wants to clarify in chat, they can do that for me. But yeah, if you were to if your character were to open up a store, if they were to be an entrepreneur and open up like a stall or a store or a shop, what would they open up? Let's start with I mean obviously like fireworks or like firearms for Bang D Boom, right?
Oh yeah, fireworks I think would be the more fun one to do. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a ton of money on that. Like
call me Bang D Bucks.
Bang D Bucks. That's amazing. That's crazy. And then Davos, if you were to open up shop and slang some things, what would you open up? Would you open up just a coffee shop, like a little spot to chill, or you have like some other sort of business in mind? Sandwich shop, maybe some bow Davos.
Maybe a sandwich shop, maybe that would certainly cross his mind. But I'm kind of thinking a salesman's shop, like for sailors and ships, and you could get maybe not the major lumber, but the minor lumber to fashion the sails, all the cloth that you would need. I could dye cloth. I could
all the rigging and
flags.
sailing.
Yeah.
Like all the boating.
Yeah,
I think it's called like a nautical yard or something like that. But yeah, like
nautical yard. That's cool. I like that.
they've had a lot of different terms for them. I don't know. I just Wikipedia things, and then that tells, not sponsored, that tells me an answer, and then I just go with that. But sometimes I find out the answer that I've been using is like 300 years old, and I'm just like, well, hey, it works for One Piece, like also not sponsored. But very good. Ragnar, you're muted again. But if you have any ideas of what you might sell, if if you were to open up a shop, like what that shop might be, if you were Lord Azrael and you just got like a nice hefty business loan.
Probably a pet fish shop, little pets.
Yeah. Some fish
It'd
sticks.
be a bunch of creepy looking pets, like a bunch of results of his experiments.
He'd figure
I
out
didn't
fish
know I was
sticks.
muted.
Yeah, you were muted. Sorry, I said it.
The answer would be I would probably own a pet store, probably, or animal care center.
Oh my god. like a pet vet, like a 911 for pets, like an emergency
Not
response.
A vet, maybe. I don't think so. More like a place for strays. So like people that are tired of their goldfish, they can give it to me, or maybe an aquarium wants to switch the fish out, but they don't know what to do with the shark. That's where you come to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wild. There's a lot of excellent questions. We haven't gotten any more questions in, so okay. We just got one actually. Let's see. It's movie night. Which Scarlet Pirates go see Barbie, and which ones go see Oppenheimer?
I mean, I feel like there's more explosions in Oppenheimer than Barbie, so.
I think you'd be
Azra
surprised.
definitely goes to see Barbie.
Davos, you're the swing vote here. Oppenheimer or Barbie for Davos in character.
Oh man, I do think he'd do the full Barbenheimer, but for the sake of picking one, I think it would be Barbie, honestly, because he
Damn.
knows a lot about beach.
What about Brother Dill? Y'all think he's definitely going to see Oppenheimer, right? Or is he like all the way on the Barbie train?
Oppenheimer.
Well, it's been a wonderful little recap session that we've had here, but we're gonna go ahead and call it. We'll do the outros, and then I will read the last cover story that I didn't get to, obviously, because the recording was trash. So I'll go ahead and start doing that. But if you guys wanted to do any outros, say your piece. We'll start with Pete. If you want to tell the people where they can find you, what you got going on, and then plug anything else, go for it. And I will right back. I gotta find some.
I'm not doing too much, but definitely check out the last arc. Always good stuff on there. We get some videos up on my channel here soon, but check out the last arc and have a good night.
Excellent. I've got Pete's channel linked and the last arc, the theory channel and the live channel, as well as the Discord linked all in the description. Ragnar, you want to tell the people what you got going on? You're muted again, just to let you know. There you go.
Oh yeah, okay. If you want to talk to me, just pray. You're welcome. I actually listen to my prayers, so.
Oh my god. Wild. The link to his Twitch is in the description. Lord Vegeta, aka Ragnar, he's a absolute goat. And you can also catch him in a few of the other TLA D&D bits, like in Group 6, right? Every other Sunday on Who-Man's channel. Link in the description. Torimori, Mikey D, W Helmsman, Bao Davos. What's going on? Where can the people find you? What you got going on with your life?
I got a lot of projects keeping me busy in real life, but I'm still streaming when I can, finishing up Mass Effect 3 here soon, so would love to hang out with some folks for the end game, or join me for the new game I'll be playing on stream at some point. I'm at about a bi-weekly schedule now, but looking to up those numbers.
Nice. Yeah, we got link in the description for your Twitter and Twitch, I believe. And then Dill is also linked in the description. His Twitch is on there, and he is doing a lot of great work with the last arc, like myself, as well as a lot of the captains there. Straw Hat Lucas, Fritz the Ditz, 3 Day Trip, Cube of the Red Sea, Den Den Kushi, Smokey, Captain Smokey, Grand Line Bound. Nothing but goats over there. And Dill is very, very busy working on a lot of things. He couldn't be here with us tonight, but I wanted to make sure I shouted out and plugged all the goats for him as well. He's a homie who's all around the community, all across Discord and YouTube, modding for a lot of the goats. And we're so glad and happy to have him here with us, and hope he will be back with us next week for some more greatness. Balincc, link in the description as well. The future queen of the pirates, Scarlet, is always a unpredictable and a wonderful force of nature tearing through the North Blue that I've built for you guys. It's always a whole lot of fun. I'm gonna go ahead and read the last cover story now, and then we'll go ahead and call it. But thank you guys, for joining me tonight. Again, it's always fun, and I can't wait for us to hopefully go live again next week. But it's always a blast with you guys. I'll go ahead and read. Let's see. Oh, this is the cover story with a name drop in it, right? This is some hype. Interior. A cozy, slightly rickety wood cabin of sorts with creaking floorboards, doors that stuck so that you had to put your shoulder in it to push it open, slightly tattered and stained rugs and curtains. Natural light trickled into the main room through the tears of the curtains. Where the light hit, there could be seen a thin film of dust that gave a matte-like texture to everything that it touched. Several small children poured out of the side rooms as fluttering could be heard outside. A newspaper flew down and slapped the cobblestone just outside of the front door. An older figure emerged from the back room, and each of the kids of varying sizes, hair colors, and postures all lined up in single file. Now, you all know we've got too many chores to do to be waiting hand and foot for a newspaper article that will never come. As the door swung open loudly and with heft and force, the grown-up bent down to retrieve the paper, and after a brief skimming of the pages, their eyes widened a bit as they removed one page from the back of the paper quickly before presenting it to the children. You see? I told you. There's no news of Davos finding the One Piece. Now hurry up and sweep the halls. And I better not hear anything about you stealing from the orchards or the markets again, all right? You hear me? Then, to be continued. We'll see all you guys next week. It's been wonderful. Have a great night.